Said first ever pairing of racing for the new Nitro on the Downs. This is going to be an annual event. First time ever. Nick Smith and Les Rice, first pairing of racing for Nitro on the Downs, as I said, here at 1320 Motorsports, Warwick Dragway. This is round number 1 for Fast Street. Dial-ins come into play, 1183 to a 1064. So Les Rice will leave first. Oh, I mean, he'll leave second, sorry, of course. Nick Smith is the slower car. He leaves first. And Les Rice will try and chase him down. Does he do it? No, he doesn't. The win goes to, of course, Nick Smith. 1187 on an 1183. Reaction times were pretty close on both sides of the track, but Nick Smith was just a little bit closer to his dial-in. Matt Francis now, he's dialed in 10.10 in the panel van, in the red panel van, and Gary Dobson's got that beautiful ute over there, the utility, and he's dialed in with a 1075. Oh, look at that beautiful reaction time there for the big panel van. 8 thousandths of a second. He should take it out here. Unless he goes too fast. No, he doesn't. He takes it. 1063 on a 1010. Gary Dobson went 1070 on a 1075. He was doing everything he could to catch up to Matt Francis, but unfortunately that meant he went too fast. He broke out from that dial-in, and that means the win goes to the big red panel van of Matt Francis. Jonathan Jones in the Domino's Dial a Pizza car. And Kane Schultz in the little T-bucket. Kane Schultz with the better reaction time. Can he hold on in the little 6-cylinder supercharged T-bucket? And the win goes to Kane Schultz. The little 6-cylinder supercharger on board, 1279 on a 1265. And Jonathan Jones, he was coming at him, 134 miles per hour. Plus he ran his quickest time of the weekend so far with an 11.26 on an 11 flat dial-in. Don't forget, folks, too, we don't run eliminations here at Warwick Dragway. We run round robin. So when these cars lose, that's not the end of it. They can come back in the next round and keep racing. We do 3 rounds of racing. And then at the end of the night, we work out who the finalists are, and we run finals. But 3 rounds of racing, and everybody gets to run all 3 rounds. How cool has it been already? We've had some great passes, and now We have the Valiant of Dale Gridley. 10.95 to dial in. Jason Burnett in the wagon has dialed in with 11.05. For those of you who don't know about Dial Your Own Racing, the racers nominate what time that their car will run. And then if they go quicker than that, they lose. But it's still first across the finish line. So you've got to be able to know how to drive your car consistently, know how to pick that dial in. It's a very special skill that these guys and girls have. And the win goes to the wagon. Jason Burnett runs 11.24 on an 11.05. 118 miles per hour for him. Of course, a good reaction time comes into it as well, with especially with Dial Your Own Racing, because the timers start as soon as you leave the line. It doesn't start as soon as the light turns. Staging lanes, please. Street to the staging lanes. Just repeating that, street to the staging lanes, please. Let's keep this show rolling along. Oh, can you hear that? That sounds like a Nitro car warming up. Win goes to Bud Kelly, Mr. Consistency in the big HQ. 10.68, 125 miles per hour on a 10.65, and with a .04 reaction time. Always hard to beat if you can put together a good package with a good reaction time, nice and close to your dial in. You give yourself every opportunity to take the win. Beth Mansfield French in the Ford Capri, in the Golby's Parts and Fabrication Lane. She's dialed in 11.33. She's going up against Mark Rosso in that beautiful Camaro. 11.58 the dial in for him in the Pro Street Radials lane. Camaro should be able to hang on here for the win. And he does. 11.68 on at 99 miles per hour. Unfortunately for Beth, she had to really keep that foot buried, and she went just a little bit too quick. 11.16 on 11.33. Here we go, Scooter March in the F100. He's dialed 12.95. He'll get a big head start over Brendan Burnett with a 11.10 dial in. Scooter with the slightly better reaction time. Can he hang in there? The wagon's coming back at him. That is looking very close down there in the finish line. And the win goes to Brendan Burnett. Brendan takes the win, 11.18 on an 11.10. Scooter just couldn't quite get close enough to his dial in there. He did have a slightly better reaction time, but he only went 13.15 on his 12.95. That doesn't sound like a lot, but unfortunately, with Dial Your Own Racing, it can be quite a big difference, and can mean the difference between winning and losing. So as I said before, if you go quicker than your dial in, you'll actually automatically lose. But drag racing is always a sport of first across the finish line. So that's why we have the handicap at the start line there. So the slower car will always get the head start over the faster car, and the difference in the head start is obviously the difference in the dial-ins. Another call for street to the staging lanes, please. Street to the staging lanes. Also, as well as street, we need drag bike, young guns bike, and street bike, all to the staging lanes, please. So that is street, drag bike, young guns bike, and street bike, all to the staging lanes, please. Coming into the burnout box now. We have a grudge match between these two Holdens. We've got Adam Somerville in the Fossil 1 Holden, the red car, up against our own Matty Loy in the blue HT Brahm. This is going to be a great race. These cars are pretty well matched. Good friends, good racing. And I am looking forward to this one, let me tell you. As I said, Adam Somerville from Fossil Fuelers. Matthew Loy, one of the head cheeses here at Warwick Dragway. The HT Brahm up against the HJ Kingswood. Adam Somerville from Fossil Fuelers with the Fossil 1 car. He's dialed in 12.00. Matthew Loy also 12.00. This will be heads up. The reaction line advantage is very close, but goes to Matthew Loy by not much at all. It's very close across the finish line. The win goes to Adam Somerville in the red car. He managed to drive around the outside of Matty Loy. He runs 12.09 on his 12.00, and Matthew Loy could only manage a 12.36. So once again, very much comes down to coming close to your dial in. The speed, look at the speed. Both cars 111 miles per hour. So very, very close racing there. 0.2 of a second across the finish line there between those two. Doesn't sound like much, but it is 33 feet, which isn't a real lot, but it's a fair bit in drag racing terms. As we see Gavin Hart leave the red light on the Christmas tree. Unfortunately for him, that is a round win to Sam Campbell in the XD Falcon. He went 10.08 on a 10.40 as well, so he broke out, but still gets the win because Gavin Hart red lit. So we have, in drag racing, we have a thing called first or worst. So if both lanes do an infringement, then the one who does it first is the loser. or if they do the worst one. Obviously, the worst infringement is crossing out of your lane, hitting the wall or crossing the centre line. That will get you an automatic lose no matter what happens. But then, other than that, if whoever does the first infringement is the loser. In that case, it was Gavin Hart by red lighting on the start line. Sam Campbell went a little bit too fast, but still he managed to get away with it. Takes the win in round one. We will see Gavin Hart, though, back out for round number 2. As I said, this is round robin racing, so the losers do not get eliminated. They do not put the car back on the trailer. They do not go home early. They come back around for round number 2. Then they come back around for round number 3. Mark Gill in the ute. Sonia Wagensfeld in the wagon. $13.99 the dial in for Sonia, and Mark with a 14.40. He's the slower car. Not by much, but he is the slower car. He will get a slight head start at the start line. We're only talking around about 1 of the amber lights difference. Sonia Wagensveld will have to try and chase him down. Looks like it's going to be close again in the finish line. I think the wagon may be slightly ahead. And yes, she takes the win. She runs 14.06 on her 13.99. So 7/10 of a second off her dial-in. Mark Gill goes 14.69. So that is 29 hundredths of a second off. So he unfortunately also made that worse by not having as good a reaction time as Sonia. So yeah, she gets the win quite easily on that occasion. It can sound a little bit confusing when you look into the rules, but at the end of the day, it's not confusing at all. It's very, very simple. Whoever crosses the finish line first is the winner. That is it. So unless somebody crosses the centre line or hits the wall or leaves a red light, other than that, first across the finish line is the winner. And it really is as simple as that. Drag racing, such a simple sport, but sometimes can sound very confusing, very complex. And of course, definitely takes a lot of skill. Just repeating, we want drag bike, young guns bike and street bike to the staging lanes, please. And continuing with street, as we saw there in that pairing between Ian Deutscher and Skylar Wagensfeld, both cars went too quick. They both went under their dial-in. So the one who went under by the least amount is the one who took the win, because the one who went under by the most, obviously, their infringement was first. So you go back to that first and worst rule. So on that occasion, it was Ian Deutscher in the EK station wagon that took the win with a 1662 on his 1670 dial-in. That's a big breakout. Young Guns bike and street bike all to the staging lanes. This is your third call. If you're not there, you should be there. Drag bike, Young Guns bike and street bike all to the staging lanes, please. And also, first call for Warwick Gases. That's right, the Gases are back. We've had a little bit of carnage with the Gases. There's a few out, but they'll still be out there putting on a great show. Warwick Gases, please, to the staging lanes. Those of you who are still able to make it, those of you who can limp down to the staging lanes. Of the street class. I'm going to be moving into a drag bike. So if you have a drag bike, you should be here. Drag bike. Young Guns bike, street bike, Warwick Gases, all to the staging lanes, please. Jack Roberts and Alex King, first pairing out for drag bike of round one of Nitro on the Downs. And the win goes to Jack Roberts on the blue bike. Runs 10.05 on a 980. Alex King with a 10.22 on his 9.95 dial-in. Justin Malloy now and Rachel Redmond. Rachel on the purple bike in the Pro Street Radials lane with a 10.9 dial in. Justin Malloy, he's dialed 9.8. So Rachel Redmond will get the start line advantage with the index. She's off, and so is Justin Malloy. Rachel Redmond had a much better reaction time, but looks like she had a little bit of a stumble there just past the 60-footers. That gave Justin Malloy a chance to come around the outside, but he goes too fast. 9.59 on a 9.80 dial-in. Rachel Redmond, she got away with that one. 14.06 on a 10.90. That is way off the dial-in. Unfortunately, well, fortunately for her, she gets the win because her competitor just went too fast. Eric Redmond now against Bo Strike. The green bike is out like a rocket with a nice 0.09 reaction time. Runs 10.07, 139, and Bo Strike goes 9.84 on a 134. So a breakout there from Eric Redmond. Too fast once again there for Eric Redmond in the Pro Street Radials lane. As we see the Nutcracker coming out. It is Shane Ball on the laydown style bike, the blue bike here in the Golby's Parts and Fabrication Lane. Shane Ball, I don't know if he can catch him from here. He's given it a good crack, but the win goes to Adam Hill, runs 10:39 on a 10:30. Shane Ball, a little bit of an issue there. Once again, just didn't seem to be able to get off the line very well. Run 11:91 on a 9:90, just not close enough. Reaction times were very close off the start line, but poor old Shane Ball, unfortunately, just too far away from the dial-in. Couldn't come back from there. Looks like Alan Annis Jr. with the bye run. This will give him a good chance to test his dial-in for the next round. He's dialed in with an 885. Let's see how close he can go to that. Nice reaction time, 0.06 of a second. And goes 883 on an 885. So just a fraction too quick. But of course, on a bye run, he takes the win. So as I said, good opportunity for him to test that dial. And he may keep it the same, so he's got that little bit in reserve. So if he can see himself out in front, he can roll off the throttle a little early. Or he may want to change it down a little bit. Don't forget, folks, too, we do have a speed limit in the pits and on the return road. 10 kilometres an hour. Please observe that. It's very, very important for safety issues, of course. And, of course, another reminder for the merchandise down there in the party tent, the party hut, whatever you want to call it. And that's over there near the big canteen next to the staging lanes. They've got very, very cool Nitro On The Downs merchandise down there. Shirts, hats, and stubby coolers as well. Make sure you get down there and get some of that gear, because otherwise you will miss out. There won't be any reprints of that design. And as I said, this is the very first Nitro On The Downs. So it would be a very, very cool memento of the event. We got chicken wings, we got pizza, and we got coffee, all the food vans down there. Still need to get down there and try and grab myself some of those buffalo wings. I like myself some good buffalo wings. And I've been told they are very good as well. So I've got to get down there and grab some if I get a chance, maybe at the end of this round. Here we go. moving into round number 1 of racing for the young guns. We got Tyler Bellett in the AA Junior Dragster up against Jasmine Kidd in the A Junior Dragster. As you'd expect, Jasmine Kidd with the slower dial-in is 8.24, and Tyler Bellett, he's dialed in with a 7.72, so he will have quite the wait there. We're talking probably close to 2 of the yellow lights on the Christmas tree. Not quite that much, but not too far off it. So he will need nerves of steel to sit there and watch Jasmine Kidd drive away and then get a good reaction time and try and chase her down. Oh, he does great too with an 0.5 reaction time, but look at Jasmine Kidd, she was even better with a 0.03. Win goes to Jasmine Kidd in the A Junior Dragster, 8.25 on an 8.24. That is beautifully done by her. Tyler Bellett, 7.74 on a 7.72. I tell you what, he's got nothing to be ashamed of either. That was a great pass on both sides of the track. Only 2 feet the difference. We're talking probably just the front wheels, the difference down there in the finish line. So that was a very close race between those two. Now we got 2 of our young ladies racing. Isabella Hunter with an 8.50 dial-in. Kendra Glasson with an 8.05 dial-in. Kendra is in the Pro Street Radials lane. That's the lane furthest away from the control tower, closest to the spectator mound. We are getting some spectators in now as well. Good to see. The stands full. The mound's filling up. Red light from Kendra Glasson. Unfortunately, the win goes, well, unfortunately for Kendra, not unfortunately for Isabella. She takes the win, and she runs an 8.60 on an 8.50 dial-in. Kendra would have been very hard to beat with an 8.08 on an 8.05 dial-in. Unfortunately for her, red light, cherry on the Christmas tree. So the win automatically goes to Isabella Hunter. So the young guns continue. They would have to be one of the biggest fields here this weekend. The young guns, Cody Sedmak now with an 8.57 dial-in. Xavier Paul, he's dialed in with a 9.19. Cody Sedmak, slight advantage off the start line with that reaction time. He should be able to go around the outside and take the win. Double breakout, but he does still take the win. 8.56 on an 8.57. And Xavier Paul goes 9.12 on a 9.19. Warwick gases to the staging lanes, please. Warwick gases to the staging lanes. Looks like you guys are already there, to be honest. And Quick ET also to the staging lanes, please. Quick ET to the staging lanes. Repeating, Quick ET to the staging lanes, please. Quick ET to the staging lanes. Taylor Smith. She's in the Moonshine Mayhem car. 7.80. Max Rowling in the Moore Pocket Money car. 7.85. So this is going to be almost heads up. Very, very close to being a heads up race between these two. Big reaction line advantage to Max Rowling. He goes 794 on his 785 to take the win. Taylor Smith 781 on a 780. She was actually closer to her dial-in, but unfortunately for her, her reaction time wasn't quite good enough. The win goes to Max in the Pro Street Radials lane. That's okay. We will see Taylor back out next round. As I said before, this is not only Doll Your Own, but it's also round robin. So losers do not get eliminated. They come back to race again. We have 3 rounds of racing. No one gets eliminated. And then at the end, we can work out who goes through to the final in each bracket. Win goes to Lexi Lancaster, 796 on a 793. Dakota Bray, she runs 790 on a 788. But once again, it is the reaction time there for Lexi Lancaster who gives her the win. Jet Pirano and Thomas Dawson. This is going to be a tough one for Jet Pirano. He's dialed in with a 7.95. The Moonshine Racing car of Thomas Dawson with a 12 flat. You're looking at over 4 seconds that Jet Pirano will have to sit on the start line while Thomas Dawson drives away. Jet will need nerves of steel. I tell you what, I've seen it from these young racers time and time again. They have the skills for this sort of stuff. I have no doubt whatsoever. 0.5 reaction time from Thomas and a brilliant 0.02 for Jet Pirano. He should have this in the bag. 7.91 on a 7.94. He goes too fast. The win goes to Thomas Dawson. But I tell you what, besides going too fast, that was a great pass there from Jet Pirano with a beautiful 0.02 reaction time. Just kept that right foot buried just a fraction too long. Yeah, it was. It was, as you say, it was a double breakout between those two. But unfortunately for Jet Pirano, he did it first, and the win goes to Thomas Dawson. On. Here we go. Next pairing in Young Guns is Nixon King in the Mick King transport car. He's dialed in 8.02, and Lucia Pirano, this is her first paired pass of the weekend. She's been learning the car all weekend with solo passes. This is her first paired pass. She's dialed in with a 10.80. This is a big moment for the young lady. Carefully into stage. .24 reaction for Lucia. Nixon King with a slightly better .16. She's hanging in there for now. Oh, another breakout there from Lucia Pirano. 10.63 on a 10.80. And Nixon King with a nice safe 8.13 on his 8.02 dial-in. Takes the win. Here we go, solo pass to round out the final pass for Young Guns, round one of the Nitro on the Downs for 2025. Nash Pirano. Good opportunity for him to test the dial in, as we say. That's a good looking car too, isn't it? It's very basic looking, very simple looking with the paint scheme, but black and gold always goes really well together, and this thing is a treat. I like the little mono strut wing as well. 7.90 the dial in, gives him a chance to check that out, see if it's good or not. He'll take the win either way. If he goes too fast, he'll know whether he needs to adjust it for the next round. .05, nice reaction there from Nash Pirano. Don't forget his dial-in, 7.90, runs 7.95. That's a great pass there from Nash Pirano. He'll be pretty happy with that. The crew will be pretty happy with that. Nice reaction time, as I said, and nice and close to the dial in. You don't get a hell of a lot better than that. And that leads us to the next bracket, which is, of course, the Young Guns bikes. As I said all weekend, great to see the Young Guns bikes bracket growing. We've had just the 2 races for so long. Every now and then we'd get a third, but this weekend, a field of 5 for the Young Gun bike races. So I am looking forward to this first round of racing from them. And first up, it's a buy run for another one of the Puranos, Vans Purano this time. Vans Purano, once again, with the opportunity to test that dial in, 11.44. And he goes 11.73 on the 11.44. Goes through to the next round with a win regardless. Navia McDougall now in the Pro Street Radials lane with a 9.53 dial in. And Marcus McDonald, he'll come into the Golby's Parts and Fabrication lane with his 8.9 dial in. So looking at, what's that? A bit over 0.6 of a second there, the difference. Oh no, Marcus McDonald. It's like he accidentally dropped out of gear there. Not too sure what exactly happened, but unfortunately for him, couldn't come back from that. Navean McDonald, look at that, beautiful reaction time, 0.0044, thousandths of a second reaction there, went 9.80 on a 9.53. As we see the brother and sister pairing coming out now, Xavier Mansfield French. Xavier Mansfield French on the blue bike. Scarlett on the pink. She's dialed in with a 9 flat. Xavier's dialed in with a 9 flat. We are talking heads up here between the brother and sister on the junior bikes, the Young Gun bikes. This could come down to the reaction time. That goes to Xavier. Let's see if he can hang on to that marginal lead there with a 0.05 reaction to a 0.16. He should do it, and he does. 9.09 on a 9.99. On a 9.0, and Scarlett goes 9.22 on a 9.00 as well. So ended up being quite an easy victory there for the brother of Scarlett, Xavier Mansfield French. So he gets bragging rights on this occasion. Which brings us to the end of Young Guns bikes and into street bike. Track is clear and the gate is shut. Lanes, please. Quick ET to the staging lanes. Oh, we've got one more bike coming out. Oh, no, we're moving in street bike, of course. Confused myself then. I've got stuff coming at me everywhere here. My little brain struggles when I've got to do more than one thing at a time. Ask my wife, she'll tell you it's true. Jason White and Dave Fallon it is. Jason White will leave 0.5 of a second earlier than Dave Fallon. Dave Fallon will have to drive around him, or try and drive around him. Jason White with the better reaction time. Did seem to have a little bit of a stumble off the start line though, so this could be anyone's race. 11.04 on an 11.10 is too fast for Jason White. Dave Fallon takes the win with a 10.77 on a 10.60. For Stephen Burton, 10.60 on a 10.65. That's right, just 0.05 of a second too fast. But too fast, unfortunately, in drag racing is too fast. I remember telling somebody about Dial Your Own Racing years ago, and they said, oh, yeah, that's interesting, but what's the leeway you get? So if you go too fast, how far too fast? I said, no, there is no leeway. That is it. You go 0.001 of a second too fast, you will lose. Red light for Lisa Mundy. She was trying to lay a great number on the light there, and she just went just a fraction too fast. Clinton Swalling will take the win here. Let's see how he goes. Either way, the win goes to Clinton Swalling with an 11.04 on a 10.70. Lisa Mundy struggling to keep the power of the step through on the line. Rochelle Strike and Christopher Shaper. Rochelle Strike on the white bike, sorry. And Christopher Shaper, obviously over there on the black bike. Christopher Shaper. Actually, both these races usually pretty sharp on the lights, but Christopher Shaper earlier today pulled a perfect reaction time. He hasn't been off the .0s all weekend, but this time he's fallen for the commentator's curse and gone too fast. Red lit there with a minus 0.05. So I apologise there, Christopher Shaper. I was talking you up and put the curse on you. Rochelle Strike, she takes the win with a 10.16 on her 9.99 dial-in. So Christopher Shaper, I think he saw the red light and just kept the hammer down because he went too fast as well. He went 12.65 on a 12.70. Aaron Grout now and Mick Mundy. Big weight here for Aaron Grout, and the bike looks like maybe the bike rocked forward. Not sure what's gone on there. The bike may have crept forward just a little bit, and it's left the red light on the Christmas tree. Mick Mundy goes through. He had a nice reaction time there, did Mick Mundy, with a .02, and he ran 21.16 on a 21.09 dial-in. He takes the win. Matt Halpin on the solo pass goes 10.01 on a 10.10. Solo pass, that's okay. So it would have been a breakout if he had another competitor in the lane next to him. And here we go into the first round of racing. For the Warwick Gassers, here we go. These guys and girls put on an awesome show. They've been giving it everything all weekend. Wheel stands, big smoky burnouts. Nigel Elsmore. The little Hillman panel van. Doggone Crazy. And of course, Crazed. The Plymouth of Brad O'Regan. 11.30, the dial in for Brad O'Regan in the blue car. And Nigel Elsmore with an 11.50. .07 reaction there from Nigel Elsmore. Unfortunately, Brad O'Regan, his reaction time wasn't anywhere near good enough. Looks like he rolled off the throttle nice and early as well. 11.43. Oh, no. 11.43 for Nigel Elsmore. That hands the win to Brad O'Regan with a 20.38 on an 11.30 dial-in. He will be the winner in round one of Warwick Gassers. Nigel Elsmore obviously didn't see that Brad O'Regan had come off the throttle and was just coasting. That's a bit of a tragedy there for the Doggone Crazy car. Still waiting there for Brad O'Regan. Obviously an issue with that car. As I said earlier, we have lost a couple of cars from this bracket over the course of the weekend through breakages and things like that. So hopefully Brad O'Regan is not going to join the ranks of the broken cars. Hopefully he'll be able to get back out here for round number two. Just shut those cars off for a little bit. Looks like Brad's stranded up there in the braking area. It looked like he was trying to roll it through, but couldn't quite get there with that hill there. So, as I said before, unfortunately for Nigel Elsmore, he should have taken the win there because Brad O'Regan was dead in the water, but unfortunately for Nigel Elsmore, he went too fast. Did the breakout, went too quick, lost the race. And Brad O'Regan, as I said, basically dead in the water, takes the win. So, these Warwick Gases, as I said, the entertainers of the drag racing world. They harken back to the old days of the 1950s and 1960s where traction and suspension and tyre technology just was not there. They were making plenty of horsepower, but they couldn't get the horsepower to the ground with the technology available in suspension and tyre. So what did they do? They put a straight axle in the front, threw the front of the car up in the air so that the weight transfer threw all the weight of the car onto the back tyre on launch, and that's how they got their traction. Well, that's how they tried to get their traction. Lots of big wheel stands, lots of smoky burnouts, lots of smoky runs, and they've always been real entertaining to watch, fun to drive. And that's what we are recreating here with the Warwick the Warwick Gases here at Warwick Dragway. So as you can see, a prime example there right in front of you, the Blue Bayou. It's got the negative rake, as we call it, the front end way up in the sky with the straight axle underneath. There we have also James Brennan in the Delinquent. Oh, look at this, Shane Lucas, he means business. Dry hops. Lifts the front tyres in the dry hop. James Brennan, not his normal big smoky burnout. He means business. 13.50, the dial in for James Brennan. Shane Lucas with an 11.8. I think James Brennan, I think the car is not healthy. But he's in there giving it a shot. And the win goes to Shane Lucas in the blue car. 12.46, 85 miles per hour. Medal mauler now. Peter Klockner. The Medal Mauler Valiant up against the old Trouble and Strife, Tracy Coombe. Pretty close on the reaction times. Tracy will have to chase him down, but not go too fast. 10.48 on a 10.45 is good enough for the win. Peter Klockner with a 13.89 on a 13.80. So not a lot in that. Only 0.7 of a second across the finish line. Peter Klockner was out in front. And he had to wait and wait and wait. Tracy Coombe managed to get around the outside and take the win. Simon Telford now in that beautiful bright yellow FJ, Barbara Ann, up against Rowan Morrison. This is also a beautifully presented FJ here, the Grumpy Humpy. Barbara Ann's a little bit slower. So she will get the head start. 0.5 reaction time. Rowan Morrison with the 0.9. He's got his work cut out for him. Simon Telford, if he can keep to his dial in, he should take the win here. And he does, runs 12.42 on 11.96. That is good enough for the win. Rowan Morrison, he runs 11.22 on a 10.90. Just fell off that dial in just a little bit too much. We should have all the Quick ET cars in the staging lanes now. Quick ET should be in the staging lane. Here we go, we're back. We had a flat microphone, but we saw the win go there to Dean Kubler. He ran 12.74 on a 12.50. Kenny McKay, he went a little bit too quick with an 11.22. His dial-in was 11.35, so 11.22 is too quick, of course. And he handed the win over to Dean Kubler in the locomotive. And that is it for Warwick Gases for round one here at Nitro on the Downs. We are about to move into Quick ET. Another one of our very exciting brackets here at Warwick Dragway. Quick ET is a combination of a few different brackets. So we've got sedans, we've got altereds, we've got dragsters. Okay, Quick ET coming at ya here at 1320 Motorsports, Warwick Dragway. Mark Sugars in the blue Falcon Sprint. The American car with a 9.6 dial in. If you would like to meet the Nitro Funny Car racers and get some autographs, now is the time. Head on over there to their merchandise tent. We've got the Nitro Funny Car drivers. They're going to be doing a signing session. So you can go over there, grab some merchandise, meet the drivers, get some stuff signed. Just repeating, folks, we have the opportunity to meet the Nitro Funny Car drivers. If you head on over there, they've got merchandise, they've got their racer cards. You can grab something like that. The racer cards are free, so that's a great opportunity to get some autographs from those guys and meet the racers that you're about to watch in the Nitro Funny Cars. So head on over there. Right now, they will be getting underway straight away with that. Then they will be getting ready to come out and do battle on the Warwick quarter mile. I tell you what, I am so excited for the Nitro Funny Cars. So excited. You think I've been excited about the Warwick Gases, the Quick ETs, the Fast Street, all those guys and girls. You wait till you hear me get excited about the Nitro Funny Cars. Red light on that occasion for Bonita Marchant. She also went too fast, 772 on a 779. Jamie Folker took the win with a 987 on a 987. So that was always going to be pretty hard to beat anyway. Couple of dragsters coming at you now. We've got the old school versus the new school. We've got front engine, nostalgia style dragster here in the Golby's Parts and Fabrication Lane. It's Darren Otto with the step back in time, nostalgia dragster. Bruce Mansfield over there with the newer style rear engine dragster. He's in the Pro Street Radials lane. And as I said, he's got the rear engine dragster. His dial-in's 821. Darren Otto in the nostalgia car with a 925. So there'll be nearly a full second that Bruce Mansfield will have to wait for his green light after he watches Darren Otto drive away. These drag races, they need nerves of steel, not only to handle the high horsepower of these race cars, but also for things like this where you are watching your competitor drive away and you are itching to get on the throttle and chase them down. But if you do it too quick, you'll get the red light and lose the race. So nerves of steel are required here from Bruce Mansfield. And he doesn't quite get there. He pulls the red light, 0.01 of a second. Darren Otto, he goes with a pretty good reaction time there for an old bloke, 0.02. He takes the win. He runs 984 on his 925. Bruce Mansfield, he ended up running an 844 on his 821. But as I said, unfortunately for him, the red light on the start line means the win goes to Darren Otto. We won't hear the end of that, will we? There's his lovely partner down there, Kay. I'm not sure how she puts up with him, but she does. She must be a saint. Just a reminder, there is a signing session underway as we speak over there in the Nitro Funny Car pit area. Get on over there, meet the Nitro Funny Car drivers. Get an autograph, shake their hand, and get ready to witness the all-out extreme horsepower of nitro burning funny cars. Of course, we've got the 4 Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Cars, and also we've got the Time Traveller. Nostalgia Funny Car. Also burning nitro methane. Quick ET. Adam Somerville. No, sorry. Is that Adam? Oh, okay. Adam Somerville doing double duties this weekend by the looks of it. Didn't even notice that before. Up against Scott Burton in the Altered. Breakout for Scott Burton. 10.21 on a 10.50. So that's a pretty sizable breakout actually. In drag racing terms. He had a great reaction time with a .03, but unfortunately went just a little bit too fast. Kristen Coulston in the blue AU Falcon. She's dialed in 10.37. She's lining up against Andrew March in the Ford Telstar. His dial-in's 8.60, so he's going to have a big weight. He's very experienced though, so he knows what he's doing. Red light for Kristen Coulson. No problem from Andrew March. A nice .07 in fact from him. He takes the win. Let's see how close he goes to the dial in 8.66 on an 8.60 with an 07 reaction time. Kirsten knew that Andrew March would be strong and hard to beat. She unfortunately went a little bit too soon and left the red light on the Christmas tree. Trevor Davis in the orange car, 10.80 the dial in. Rob Price in the white Tirana with a 9.66. That means the Jaffa will leave early. Nice wheel stand, heads towards the start line, towards the centre line, but manages to get it back into the groove. Oh, the win goes to Trevor Davis with a 10.84 on a 10.80. Rob Price goes 9.69 on a 9.66. So both of them pretty close to their dial-ins. But Trevor Davis with a slightly better reaction time. Once again, not a real lot in it. 0.03 of a second. The staging lanes, please. Blown Outlaws to the staging lanes. We have one there, but we need them all. Blown Outlaws to the staging lanes, please. Rob Trapnell, 10.10 the dial in. Max Carpenter in the beautiful red Mustang. He will have to wait for what will seem like an eternity. But once again, an experienced racer over there in the red car. Oh, unfortunately, Robert Trapnell, what's going on there? We're going to let him come back and restage. I'm not sure what happened there, but some sort of a mishap. The car jumped forward before the start was even pressed. Going back into stage now is Robert Trapnell. Max Carpenter, very, very relaxed and patient in the red car. With a little bit of a reaction time advantage. Can the red car drive around the outside of him? It's not looking real great for him. 10.04 is too fast for Robert Trapnell. 10.04 on a 10.10 dial-in is too fast. Max Carpenter gets the win. 9.01 on an 880 dial-in. Michael Osborne now in the white Hilux. He's dialed in with a 935. Terry Mansfield French in the blue Falcon has dialed in with a 1035. So he will get a 1 second head start. Exactly 1 second. He goes too soon, leaves the cherry on the Christmas tree. Win goes to Michael Osborne. He runs 9.38 on a 9.35. That's a pretty good effort anyway. Terry Mansfield French, 10.69 on a 10.35. But obviously the red light. Big side-by-side smoky burnouts. That's what we love to see here at Warwick Dragway. Michael Shaper and Neil Maxwell. Michael Shaper in the 57 Chevy up against Neil Maxwell in the modern Pontiac GTO. Michael Shaper, 870. Neil Maxwell, 737. Ooh, good reaction times, both sides of the track. Win goes to Neil Maxwell in the GTO, 738 on a 737. Nice work there from him. Michael Shaper with an 879 on 870 with a good 0.03 reaction time. That would have normally been pretty hard to beat. Neil Maxwell was up to the task. Reaction time not quite as good, but still very good, 0.06, but so close to that dial-in. 738 on a 737. Yeah. Okay, Fast Street. Fast Street to the staging lanes, please. That's right, you heard me correct. Fast Street to the staging lanes, please. We are way ahead of schedule, so we're going to get you guys out to do your round number 2 ASAP. So just get out to the staging lanes as soon as you can. Fast Street, that is, to the staging lanes, please. Ella Sting, 778. Just repeating, Fast Street to the staging lanes, please. Fast Street to the staging lanes. We're going to get your round number 2 done. Don't forget too, folks, you're going to have a little bit of time to get down and get something to eat from the canteen. You're going to have time to get something to eat from the food vans. I wonder if I've got time to run down and grab some buffalo wings. Whoa, they sound good. Yes, and I was about to mention the merchandise, of course. We're not talking about Chris at all here, but we're talking about the merchandise. We've got awesome shirts. How cool do they look? The shirts down there in the Warwick Dragway merchandise stall. We've got shirts of all sizes from infants all the way through to 5XL. We got shirts, we got hats, we got stubby coolers. Make sure you get down there and grab yourself something. First ever Nitro on the Downs. Yep, it's near the canteen, that's right. In the party hut, as we call it. Oh yeah, that's a burnout. Rodney Hanson laying down the rubber again. And Mackenzie Garside in the rear engine dragster coming in next to Rodney Hanson. Rodney Hanson in the Golby's Parts and Fabrication lane, dialed in with a 733. Mackenzie Garside dialed in the Pro Street Radials lane with a 780. Rodney Hanson, he's all over the track. He comes very close to that wall. but manages to keep it off and takes the win with a 7:38 on a 7:33 with a .01 reaction time. Mackenzie Garside went too fast, 7:77 on a 7:80. I think that was a result of having to keep that right foot buried hard onto the firewall to try and keep Rodney Hansen at bay. Unfortunately, once again, a breakout. Good to see the fast street cars lining up there in the staging lanes. Fast street, if you're not there in the staging lanes, we need you there ASAP. I know you probably weren't expecting to be there just yet, but we are ahead of schedule. We need to make sure we keep going, keep cars rolling down the track. And yes, merchandise again. We got merchandise over there in the party hut. That is the big carport looking thing near the canteen, and we've got all those awesome shirts and hats and stubby coolers. And as I said before, this is the first Nitro on the Downs. You don't want to miss out on having some cool merchandise to memorize this awesome new event here at Warwick Dragway. Fast street to the staging lanes, please. Fast street to the staging lanes, as we have been announcing. I do understand this one, though, because you probably weren't really expecting to come out just yet. But that's the way it's worked out here. We are well ahead of schedule. The Nitro Funny Car's not ready to come out just yet because we've scheduled them for 5:30. They will be rolling into the staging lanes at 5:20. There's a lot of work to get those cars ready to roll. You can't just tell those guys to jump in the cars and go. So fast street, you're going to get your round number 2 in early. That's a good thing for you guys and girls, because that means you can you'll be finished and you'll be able to get a good spot to watch the Nitro Funny Cars.
Here we are out at Warwick Dragway, and we've got a massive day of racing about to come. Hopefully you've been watching the stream and already seen all the qualifying, but we're about to get into racing now. And behind me, we have all the Nitro Funny Cars just getting ready to go. They'll be coming out to do a few laps. We've got wheel stander cars. It's all happening at 1320 Motorsports, Warwick Dragway. So we hope you enjoy the action. Stick around. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe. Follow Overtaking Lane for all your live drag racing action. And make sure you get out and check out Warwick Dragway, one of the best spots to come and race in Queensland. We absolutely love it, and we know you will too. So we hope to see you trackside. Until then, enjoy the live stream.
I'm thinking back on all those times when I felt closed off from all that I could become, eager but too scared to climb. Wanted to please my friends, but it felt like the end of myself. I was shut down and all drained out. I was lost, so I had to change. Yeah, I shook off all the bad vibes, cut me loose from the pettiness. They turned on me, but now I am perfectly free.
Street. Wait on a few. On a few more for Fast Street. Come on round to the lanes. Let's get you all into the lanes. Fast Street. A few more to come. We've got most of you there now and a couple of stragglers. So jump on into the lanes. We'll see you there. Let's get racing.
But they don't have a clue, 'cause this is me when I cut out all the shallowness and everything I suppress to fit in a small frame. But I won't play your game anymore, so I had to change. Yeah, I shook off all the bad vibes, cut me loose from the pettiness they turn on me, but now I am perfectly free to be me. This is who I am, this is who I am now. No matter what they saying, this is who I am, this is who I am now. I'm gonna let them talk, but I ain't following nobody else. How can I be resentful when I finally respect myself? I shook off all the bad vibes, cut me loose from the pettiness they turn on me, but now I am perfectly free to be me. This is who I am, this is who I am now. No matter what they're saying, this is who I am, this is who I am now.
You and I, we never show emotions, we just keep it down inside.
Little bit of a track cleanup, track prep, and then we'll be underway with Fast Street very, very shortly. This is round number 2 of Fast Street. Brought to us this weekend by Overtaking Lane. Don't forget, we have the live feed happening as we speak on the Overtaking Lane YouTube channel. If you happen to have a television in your handbag, just pull it out and you'll be able to watch live on the YouTube channel as well as live by looking at the track. Or if you've got friends who haven't been able to make it, get them onto that live feed. Just go onto YouTube. Don't forget to subscribe too, because then you get all the notifications, so that when there's a live feed happening anywhere in the country that Overtaking Lane are doing, you'll get a notification. You won't miss any of the action. Don't forget to, we have merchandise. That's right, you probably didn't know this, but we have merchandise over there in the party hut, which is right there near the canteen, which is over there near the staging lanes, which is on the facility here at Warwick Dragway. Whew, I got there. So yeah, that merchandise, I know I've said it before, but just for those who haven't heard, well, it's probably the coolest merchandise you'll ever see. And it's for the very first Nitro on the Downs, which is where we are right now. And believe it or not, if you've got a newborn baby, you can even get a T-shirt for your newborn baby with Nitro on the Downs on it. You have the coolest baby ever. And or if you're a bigger guy or girl and you want a 5XL, we've got that too. We've got everything in between as well, so make sure you get down there and grab something. Looks like there's a bit of a lineup for the canteen, so head on over there, make a bit of a detour, get your merchandise. By that stage, the line will be dropped down at for the food, and you'll be able to get your food, and you'll have everything sorted. Then you'll be able to come back over here, sit down in your spot, get ready for all the action on the track. Staging lanes waiting to go. We'll be getting underway very shortly. The conference down there on the start line with all our volunteers. Yeah, that's a good idea. Chuck some chips and gravy on top of the pizza with the chicken wings. You'll be eating like a king. A king with heart disease, but a king nonetheless. Here we go. Second round of racing for the fast street cars. And we're starting off with Nick Smith. And Kalani back. Nick Smith in the station wagons dialed in with an 1183. Kalani back in the ute has gone with an 1175. So, not a real lot in it. So less than a tenth of a second. With a .05 reaction. Kalani back will have his workout out for him to catch up with Nick Smith. The win does go to Nick Smith in the Holden with an 1187 on an 1183. That was a pretty good run for both sides of the track there. Only .05 of a second the difference across the finish line. Kalani back ran 11.79 on 11.75. Kane Schultz now. He had, I think he had the win in the first round from memory. But he's lining up this time against Beth Mansfield French. Pretty tough racer. There she goes. .03 reaction time. This will be a tough one for Kano to win. Will Beth get there? Yes, she does. 11.29 on an 11.13 dial in. And Kano Schultz goes 12.65 and a 12.65. I'll tell you what, that was lost on the start line. No, well, look at that. Yeah, lost on the start line. Kano ran 12.65 on a 12.65, but his reaction time wasn't quite as good as Beth Mansfield French. So she was able to drive around the outside and take the win on that occasion. Another great race there between those two. Margin of victory on that occasion, 0.0004. So less than a foot in the difference across the finish line there. That's probably the closest race we've had all weekend. Scooter March now in Bud Kelly. Oops, someone's done a pedal down there and they're trying to get across the line first without breaking out. Bud Kelly takes the win, 10.74 on a 10.65. Had a nice 0.6 reaction time as well. Scooter March goes 13.02 on his 13.00, but it wasn't quite good enough. Cameron Hunt and Jason Burnett. Good start there from Cameron Hunt. Jason Burnett wasn't terrible, but it wasn't as good as Cameron Hunt, so he'll have his work cut out for him here. He's going to have to run very close to his dial in. Nope, Cameron Hunt takes the win, 12.79 on that 12.65 dial in. Jason Burnett wasn't too far off his dial in with a 11.18 on an 11.05. But it wasn't quite good enough to make up for that start line advantage there for Cameron Hunt. looking nice and close here between these two. Pretty even at the 60 foot, pretty even at the 330 foot. But the win goes to Brett Lyon in the Pro Street Radials lane with an 11.78 on 11.51. Once again, pretty much one on the start line there. And again, the margin of victory only about 1.5 foot across the finish line, which equates to 0.009 of a second, 9 thousandths of a second. Folks, we've got the Nitro Funny Cars coming out at 5:30. We're going to run the fast street cars through. And we're going to do a bit of track prep, and hopefully the timing will line up in so that we can get those Nitro Funny Cars out on time. Good to see a big crowd here today at Warwick Dragway. Obviously, all come out to see the Nitro Funny Cars, and why wouldn't you? So cool, so fast, so much noise. The stands are full. The spectator mount is almost full. Nice reaction time there for such a big weight. And he runs 10.06 on a 10.40, goes too fast. Hands the win over to Paul Winkle in the Holden Ute, 13.00 on a 12.99. So yeah, unfortunately for Sam Campbell in the Falcon, he just goes too fast. Sweet. Apparently I'm getting a Domino's pizza delivered. Awesome. It should be here very, very quickly. It'll be nice and hot, I'll tell you, because this little thing of Jonathan Jones is very quick. He's dialed in with an 11.00. Dale Gridley in the Valiant with a 10.23. Little Toyota Echo. Let's see how they go. 10.75, too fast for the Domino's pizza delivery driver. Dale Gridley takes the win with a 10.63 on a 10.23. And unfortunately for Jonathan Jones, the pizza got there too quickly. I wasn't home in time. Yeah, for the first time we've ever said the pizzas were too quickly delivered. But we've said it. We can't go back now. Red lights for John Riley. And it's a close one too. 0.007 in the negatives, unfortunately for him. Matt Francis takes the win with a 10.05 on a 10.10. So, yeah, he went too fast, but unfortunately John Riley, first or worst rule, gets him with the red light. Somerville in the Fossil 1 car. Over there, Les Rice in the black HB Tirana. Pretty close in the reaction times. Could be anyone's race. The win goes to Les Rice. He runs 10.69 on a 10.65. Unfortunately for Adam Somerville, once again he goes too quick, 11.99 on a 12.00. That is a heartbreaker. 11.99 with a 4 on a 12.00 dial in, and that is too fast. For Phil Halpin, Gary Dobson. He also went early, but not by as much as Phil Halpin. Phil did it first. Gary takes the win. Both reasonably close to their dial-ins. Phil Halpin actually with 11.74 on an 11.70 was very close. Anyone can make it. Kevin Hart, dial in 7.50. He's got the solo here for round 2 of Fast Street. Goes 10.49 on a 10.50. How close is that? Goes just that fraction too quick. But luckily for him, he's on a solo pass, so he takes the win. As I said, there's always got to be a winner in drag racing, and it's always the first across the finish line unless something bad happens.
Today, mate, and you run a couple of these machines, of course. Tell us a little bit about Nitro Express.
Look, this is the 57. It's our most iconic car. It was the first car that started the whole Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Car series. You know, this is GC and Wendy's pride and joy, and it's a pleasure for us to race it. And yeah, this thing's been as quick as 520 at 283 mile an hour over the quarter. So conditions probably aren't there for that today, but yeah, we're going to have a swing.
Now, the thing is, you bring these cars out now and you're not afraid to get them out onto the regional tracks. Like I've seen you up in Palmyra, out here at Warwick. Of course, you go all over the country with them. It's a big show, right?
Oh, that's it. It's as you can see, every car has a name, you know, so the kids can relate to a Terminator or a King Kong, or you know, say the older folk, you know, the Bandit.
Yep,
is good for them, and who doesn't love a 57 Chev? So it's just it's a thing that everyone can relate to something, so everyone can have their choice, their favourite, and the crowd just love it, and we love racing them.
Yeah. Now, do you have just as much fun in these as you do the newer cars today?
Oh, absolutely. They're a completely different deal. Obviously, the big show cars are making twice, 3 times the horsepower, but it's this is just a more relaxed, more fun atmosphere, and we can take them to these awesome facilities. Like we love coming to Warwick, and the people and everything about it's just so much fun. And yeah, you just have such an enjoyable race day. And they are hard to drive. These things are. I said to one of the boys this morning that I actually think these things are harder, just with the way they react, and they don't have as much downforce, and a 57 Chev was never meant to go 440 kilometres an hour, so they're not designed to be easy, but that's what makes it enjoyable and makes it good for the crowd.
And you haven't, over all this time, you haven't, made it in your mind that it becomes a bit of a slow motion event. It still happens very quickly.
Oh mate, they're still doing 0 to 100 k's in under a second. They're still doing 400 kilometres an hour in under 5 seconds. So
how do you react?
You just naturally do it.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that the first couple of laps you have no idea what happened, and the car's at the finish line and you're still standing on the start line. But once you do laps and laps and laps, you get used to it, and you come back after a run which is 5.5 seconds long, and you talk about it for 5.5 minutes, because there's so much going on that you're constantly thinking and evolving, and your brain does it, and then you almost think, oh yeah, that's why I did that, because you're just reacting to it. If you're thinking about it, you're gone, because the car's going that fast.
Yeah, so there's a lot of feel. It's what you feel through the seat.
Absolutely. They say you drive these things with your bum.
Yep.
And it's just what you feel. It's what the tyres are doing. And if it goes out and shakes, do you shift it to get through it? Do you pedal it, or do you try and drive through it? It's so many options that make these cars so much fun from a driver perspective. And what most people don't actually understand with these, we have no data on them. There's not a single data log on any of these cars, or has there ever been. So it's the seat of the pants from the driver and the tuner going, I think it did this, it sounded like this. So your feedback from the driver is so important.
You're saying
that it makes it so much fun.
They're going to change their tune according to it and find out.
Yeah, exactly. So with the big show cars, everything's recorded.
Yep.
So as a driver, A, you can't lie.
Yeah.
Because it's recorded. But B, with these, you've really got to know where you are on the racetrack to say, right, a quarter of the way down, it felt like it was about to spin the tyres, and relay that to the tuners to then make it good for the next lap. So it's much more of a on-the-fly kind of team effort.
Right. It's one heck of an experience, and I can tell you, from getting out there with the cameras on the start line, it's pretty impressive. Now, you've got a crew that does that all the time. They work on these things. They're in the pits, breathing the nitro. Do you get used to it?
Oh yeah, look, you get used to it, but we got a bit of a saying about how about them Aeroflow boys, because our group, our whole team is without a doubt the best in the business. There's I don't care who says what. We got the best guys, the best people, the best atmosphere, and we have a bunch of fun doing it. But when you get in these cars, you've got everything, every box is ticked.
Yeah.
And when you've got a crew as good as we do, it makes it just a bunch of fun for everyone.
I mean, you've got a big solid crew. There's obviously a lot of people involved in making these things happen. There's a lot of people full-time as well.
Yep.
And they look after all these cars, both the big show cars as well, don't they?
Yeah, look, it's a huge exercise. We've got 4 of these cars, we've got 4 big show cars, plus Psycho, the fuel altered that started this for GC and Wendy back in the 70s. They actually sold that car to start Rocket Industries and Aeroflow Performance.
Right.
So everything is owed back to them in that car, and their dream of going racing, and we're the lucky ones that get to do it.
Yeah, and there's a bit of R&D and all that these days.
If you come look at all these cars, they are just chocker with everything Aeroflow. So we use these cars. Hey, if we can run these cars and put all our parts through what these cars throw at them, then they're good for everyone's car. So there's not a better test bed, whether it comes hoses, fittings, ignition leads. We run all of it. Everything you can run that's Aeroflow is on these cars, and what better place to test it? Then we can go back to the guys and say, right, let's redesign this, redo that. And there's no harsher condition to put it through.
Yeah, that's true. And Aeroflow have got a heck of a catalogue these days too, haven't they? So, and a massive new warehouse, I believe, down there too, don't they? So in Sydney, so they've got just about everything there. So check out the website and get on it. But hope you enjoy the cars. Let's see how Morris goes today. You're backing yourself. Who's the challenge?
Look, if you're not a race car driver if you don't back yourself, but all these cars are as good as each other. So, and on a day like this, you just don't know. But what I do know is we'll have fun, and we'll do everything we can to put on a heck of a show for the crowd.
Yeah, and there'll be a bit of ribbon on each other later on, I would imagine too, eh?
Oh, there'll be no look. Over the years, I've really tried the smack talking thing, and turns out I just suck at it. So I'll let them do it, and then we'll just see what happens on the track.
Mate, we'll have a great day out there, and thank you for coming out to Warwick.
No worries, thank you.
Now I've found another one of the Aeroflow drivers, Josh Lay. He is running the Bandit. Now you're also out here the same. We just had a chat to Morris. You're out here having a bit of fun in the regional tracks with these cars. You do this all over the country?
Yeah, we do it all over the country. I mean, we came here last year and we had such a good time. We said, leaving the place, we were like, we have to come back. So stoked to be back here after 12 months. And yeah, like we go all around the country with these cars, and the people appreciate it as well when we bring them out to anywhere from WA, Far North Queensland, down Southeast Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria, wherever. Everyone loves these cars, so it's good to be out here with them.
Now, you obviously come from a family of racing, but junior dragsters and you've done it all. Tell us a little bit about the start and your journey, your career into the funny cars today.
Yeah, look, I started in junior dragsters when I was 10 years old, and just from there, once I graduated out of junior dragsters, it was straight into a super street car, and then after that it was straight into a modified car, then a supercharged Outlaws car. So progressively, went from 8 seconds over to the 8th mile to 8 seconds over the quarter mile, and then it just kept going a bit faster and a bit faster. Each car has just surprised me how quick they go. So I have the utmost respect for every class because they're all fast.
Yeah, now you've been running these in the big show cars now for quite some time. It's been a few years.
Actually, the first meeting I did in the Bandit was back in 2017.
Wow.
And then so we've been racing the Bandit ever since. And last year, the Nitro Champs was my first event in the Ninja. That's what we call it, but it was the X-Pro sponsored Toyota Camry.
Yeah, and obviously a bit of difference in the seat in between the two, but where's the love? Do you still really enjoy these cars as much as that?
I love every type of drag racing. It doesn't matter. Only a couple of weeks ago we were out with my father-in-law's supercharged Outlaws car, and I was driving it for him that weekend. So it doesn't matter which race car it is. We just love to come out racing, and we also love nitro. Like the nitro racing is so much fun.
Yep.
These cars, I tell you what, they are fast. Like they are just damn fast.
Yeah.
There's no two ways around it. And we still have the utmost respect for these cars, even though we have been racing in the NDRC, that you cannot relax with these cars. They're still nitro, it's a high percentage, a lot of fuel going through these cars to go as fast as they do. So they can bite you if you don't respect them.
It's a pretty dangerous thing. Yeah, now, obviously, you're going down the track that quick, it's a big effort. But where did you, that first run, obviously you had to come out of those other cars and your first run in a nitro car, how do they blood you into that?
Nothing can prepare you for it, really. There's nothing that will prepare you for strapping yourself into a nitro car and standing on the throttle and just pinning those ears back. The best smell is down the bottom end, clutch dust and nitro after a run, and you can actually take a big sigh of relief and go, I've just done that.
That's impressive, mate. Well, we're very happy that you came all the way out here to Warwick, and as you said, it's a couple of years in a row, so it's a bit of an annual thing now.
Yeah, I think we should make it an annual event, honestly.
I reckon Warwick would be pretty keen, so I think that's a definite. And we've got the crowd, they love coming out and watching the nitro as much as you guys love racing it. So thank you for getting out here, and we'll see you on the track.
Yeah, thanks, appreciate it. Thanks for having us.
Look as far as I can see, but you don't want to talk to me, no. And not through words, not through songs, not through whispers, not through phones. When I look at you, I know that got me in a state of mind, traveling through wasted time. Think of how I will rewrite every single song.
state of mind, traveling through wasted time. Think of how I will rewrite every single song. You got me in a state of mind, traveling through wasted time. Think of how I will rewrite every single song.
I'm thinking back on all those times when I felt closed off from all that I could become, eager but too scared to climb. Wanted to please my friends, but it felt like the end of myself. I was shut down and all drained out. I was lost, so I had to change. Yeah, I shook off all the bad vibes, cut me loose.
Are nearly ready to go. If I were you, I would be making my way back to my seat. The track prep is done. The racers are strapping themselves into their machines, and we are about to witness the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Cars. As I said before, if you haven't seen these things, you are in for an absolute treat. If you have seen them before, you're also in for an absolute treat. You can never get enough of this sort of thing. Don't forget also, folks, after the Nitro Funny Cars, the Aeroflow Outlaw Nitro Funny Cars, we're going to have a wheel stander demo as well. If you haven't seen these things, they are a lot of fun also. Imagine a car which does a wheel stand for the whole quarter mile. That's what we're going to see. Great fun. Is that... Funny Cars in the house. Nitro Funny Cars coming at you right now. We got Justin Walsh and Graham Frawley. Justin Walsh in the Terminator Camaro Funny Car. And of course, Graham Frawley, the Trans Am King Kong. Here we go. How's that for a burnout from these two guys? I can smell the nitro from up here in the control tower. Justin Walsh in the Golby's Parts and Fabrications lane. Graham Frawley in the Pro Street Radials lane, about to get underway. Both drivers given the thumbs up from the crew chiefs, about to move forward. Look at that! Justin Walsh using up the whole lane. Graham Frawley goes through with a 7:45. And Justin Walsh with an 8:39. What a great show that was. Justin Walsh, he had to muscle that car from side to side in that lane. He kept it in the lane. Great drive job there, as we would expect from Justin Walsh. He's very experienced at driving these cars. Graham Frawley, he also did a great job. His car went nice and straight, relatively speaking. 7:45, as I said. He takes the win in the first round of the Aeroflow Nitro Funny Cars. How cool was that? Mr. Sir in the who was waving at me earlier, what did you think? What did you think? Thumbs up, of course. Yep, multiple thumbs up. I like it. I like it. I would also do the same. And That was awesome, but we've got more to come. We've got 3 more Nitro Funny Cars coming at us. And then, of course, as I said earlier, the wheel stander, which is cool in its own right. Here we go, folks. The next pairing, JOH Lay and Morris McMillan. Morris McMillan in the Nitro Express 57 Chevy. Smokes the tyres. Here comes JOH Lay in the Bandit Trans Am. Wow, these guys really know how to put on a show for the fans. Nitro Express versus the Bandit. Morris McMillan versus JOH Lay. Here we go. Oh, look at that. JOH Lay all over the shop. I think he might have even touched that centre line down there. That thing is wild. 691 through at, well, I don't know what happened there. Yeah, he must have taken out that mile per hour beam, only registered as 32 miles per hour. But Morris McMillan, 5.50, 275 miles per hour. That, don't know if that's right either, to be honest. Awesome. Put your hands together for the Nitro Funny Cars. We do have a bonus funny car coming at us very shortly. We'll obviously have to go down there and sort out a few things after that wild run there from JOH Lay. But very shortly we'll have the Time Traveller coming out with our very own Christine Steffens, the only female Nitro Funny Car driver in the country. Christine Steffens, driver of the Time Traveller Nitro Funny Car. She is strapped in, ready to go. The crew gathered around, prepping to fire up this nitro burning engine. I don't know where I was going with that one. I got it out eventually. Leave me alone. Here goes Christine Steffens in the Time Traveller Nitro Funny Car. Put into stage by crew chief and husband, Ricky Steffens. Whoa, hits the wall a couple of times. Please keep everybody off the track. We've got the medical team coming through. Everyone stay behind the fences, of course. Okay, folks, obviously that is something that we never want to see on a drag strip, but also it's a part of motorsport from time to time. The good news is, of course, is that the most important news is that Christine Steffens, the driver, is fine. She's a little bit shaken up, of course, as you would obviously expect, but physically she's fine. And yeah, obviously the car's going to be a little bit second-hand looking, but as we always say, the people are the most important thing, and Christine is fine. So we can be thankful for that. Obviously, they were going to have a bit of a clean-up to go ahead to make sure everything's fine for the next round of racing, and we will obviously let you know what's happening as we find out. And in the meantime, good time for dinner. Go grab yourself something to eat. Of course, we would ask you to give the crew some breathing space. So don't all head up to the pit area there and swamp them, because obviously things are overwhelming for the crew and the family and friends of Christine and obviously the owners of the car. So yeah, give them a little bit of space. And other than that, we will wait it out and let you know when we're ready to get back underway again.
We've got Shelby Leahy here. Now, you run one of the Aeroflow wheel stander cars. You've been driving this for a while now, misbehaving.
Yep.
So now, tell me about a wheel stander car. How does this work? How do you drive it? Give me a bit of info. I need to understand.
Yeah. So these, it's obviously got a funny car Chev body on top of it. The motor is a 540 cubic inch big block, 1,000 horsepower. So because all the weight of the motor is at the back, as soon as I put my foot on the throttle, those front wheels will pop up. And so I just got to hold it there, hold it down the quarter mile. Yeah, so it's a bit of a balancing act as well. So
how are you steering?
It there. With my steering, so the front wheels, once they're in the air, I can't use your standard butterfly steering wheel. I've got to steer with the back brakes, which is a hand shifter, pedal. And then, yeah, shift. I've got to let go of the steering wheel midway in the air, shift, get back on the steering, and balance it all the way down the quarter mile. A lot of fun. Nothing like any other sort of drag racing I've ever driven before. It's a lot different, but a lot of fun. You get into the groove of things once you're going down.
Now, you certainly want to make sure you do keep those wheels straight, because you don't want to come down with those wheels turned.
That's right. Yeah,
That's going to go bad.
Landing's pretty important. So obviously, once we're up in the air, going at some speed, I've got to catch the front wheels down back to the ground. So yeah, got to make sure those front wheels are straight, and yeah, land it nice and soft. Fortunately, this car is equipped with the airbags on the front,
right.
So it makes the landings a little bit softer as well.
Now, it's all for the crowd, isn't it?
That's right.
It's definitely the show. But when you first got in it must have been a bit of an experience.
It is a different experience looking through your legs, trying to steer. So once the car's in the air, I am looking through past my foot pedals, through the bare chassis under there.
And you've got like some titanium plates. You're throwing sparks. And, and
it does shoot flames too.
Yes. There's a bit of a flame show.
Yeah, there is
well.
a flame show. There's spark plugs and igniters through the exhaust pipes.
Yep.
So they shoot some flames. Good show. Real good show.
Now, racing family, obviously. So, where did your racing start? You didn't start straight in the wheel stander.
No, it was a lot different to the wheel stander. I started in a junior. So I started racing juniors at 10 years old, up until 17, and then once I was 18, hopped into a modified 350 small block Chev. So I was quite used to a bit of a Chev show, and then fortunately with the Aeroflow crew, jumping on board in the wheel standers. So it was a lot different to the other two dragsters I've been in before. But yeah,
I know
totally
you come from
different.
a family with plenty of cars.
It's definitely in the blood.
There's always a mixture of cars there, isn't there? So I think there's something different to look at whenever I see some of your family at the track. There's racing everything from nostalgias and
Yeah.
So and of course a few years now in the Aeroflow cars. So it's pretty impressive.
Yeah.
What is the highlight for you? Is it the crowd? Is it the meeting
Definitely,
the kids?
support the fans and support family, especially the Aeroflow crew. Wouldn't be here without the Aeroflow team, Graham and Wendy. So big thank you to them, but also mainly the supporters as well and my fans. Love meeting everyone, all the kids as well. Makes such a difference. Makes it so worthwhile, not only for the experience for myself, but the team and Aeroflow.
You do a meet and greet as part of the
Yeah,
day as well, right?
definitely.
So that they can all come and meet all the drivers.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
and you've got
Get some posters,
Yeah.
T-shirts. Yeah.
It's all happening.
All the
so,
merch.
Yeah, it's not just on track, and you're
Yes.
quite welcome to come into the pits and have a chat.
Yes, please, yeah. Come on in, come on down, all open. So, yeah, we've got
brilliant.
lots to see.
Now, I believe we'll have a start up. I think of some of the cars around 3, and then
Yes.
everybody's on track at around 5:30. So,
That's the plan. Yep.
So
yeah,
we'll-
looking forward to it.
I hope you enjoy the rest of your
Thank
day.
you.
Have a great
yeah,
night,
everyone as well. Cheers. Come on down.
and
yeah.
we'll see you at the
A
next
lot of
round of
action
Warwick.
about to happen. That's it.
Thank you. Have fun.
Thank you. Cheers.
into it with the wheel stander. Shelby Lay about to put on an awesome show for us all here. Ah, how cool is that? The Misbehavin' 57 Chev wheel stander. Oh, that is a lot of fun. And I'll tell you what, it takes some special skills to drive one of these. When it's up in the air, you can't see anything without looking through the floor, believe it or not. They steer it by controlling the rear brakes with levers. So it's not an easy thing to do. Shelby doing a great job out there. Yeah, that's what we like to see as well, the flame show. What a beautiful car as well, the Misbehavin' 57 Chevy wheel stander. Oh yeah, give her a hand as she heads down the track. Wheel standing all the way. That is beautiful work there from Shelby Lay. Put your hands together. What an awesome job she's done. Putting on a great show for all the fans. Really want to thank these teams for coming all the way to Warwick Dragway to put on a great show for us. As I said earlier, great to hear that Christine Steffens is doing well. She's obviously a little bit upset about what happened, but physically she's fine. And we wish her all the best, of course. We'll see the Nitro Funny Cars and the wheel stander back out again a little bit later. Due to come out again at around about 7:30. Of course, that may be a little bit behind schedule now that we've had to have a little bit of a clean-up, but we shouldn't be too far behind that. So we're just going to have another quick tidy up on the track, and we will be back into action very, very shortly. Street and drag bike to the staging lanes, please. Street and drag bike to the staging lanes. Of course, street into lane 6 and 7, drag bike into lane 4. This is going to be racing round 2 for these guys and girls. Street and drag bike to the staging lanes, please. Just repeating too, folks, street and drag bike to the staging lanes, please. Street and drag bike to the staging lanes, please.